Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. With the Season 6 update here in Warzone, we got what is presumably the final major meta update of the year. Obviously, we still got a couple of new weapons and aftermarket parts that'll be coming throughout the rest of the season and some events and whatnot, but our new weapon balancing, all the buffs to various different guns, and our two main new weapons are now here with the Season 6 launch. And so with that being said, today, I wanted to go through and break down the new meta update, talk about what all it actually changed. I've got a list of all the weapon updates that took place in Season 6 and sort of break down the end of the meta here for Black Ops 6 Warzone, assuming that they're not going to do anything too crazy just prior to Black Ops 7 launching, right? So first up here, we got to rank our new weapons. So we got a new rifle, a new SMG. I want to do the SMG first, the Dresden, aka the MP40. This is an obvious one. This thing is an absolute meta SMG. Insane range, fast TTK, clean irons, low recoil. Just doing it all right. A phenomenal SMG for sure. The Merrick is a little bit interesting. It's not the easiest gun to use in terms of recoil. You got to work on it a little bit, get used to it, but it's got a really competitive TTK throughout. I think it's definitely on the line here. It's on the border of being absolute meta versus just like a meta contender here. I lean more towards meta contender just because there are going to be things, like the AK, the XM4 that I lean a little bit more towards, the AMAX especially. So I'd say for now, it's definitely, on the edge there for sure, but both very good new weapons for what it's worth. So now we can jump in and actually break down the various different weapon buffs that took place. There are quite a few that will impact our overall rankings here. First up, the AMAX, we just talked about it. They buffed this. I'm really surprised that they buffed it, but they did. It got a range buff and a velocity buff. It's already absolute meta, so it can't get any higher, but it's even better now, so you love to see that. The Model L also ended up catching a decent buff here. It's a decent rifle, like obviously very easy to use. The TTK is still a little bit lacking, but they did give it better range. They also buffed the torso multiplier there, and then the velocity as well, so it's becoming a little bit better. Still not something that is going to be in contention in absolute meta, but something you could use and do very well with. Now the ABR full auto, really I have it in absolute meta because of the full auto option here. It's really good for sniper support. It actually got a buff as well. Its range is buffed across the board, which is really solid there. So ABR for sniper support, sitting pretty, but it's also just good as a burst long range gun too. Now the compacts, they actually buffed the strafe and the general mobility ADS and whatnot. Gets even better. It's already absolute meta, so not much we can change there. The PPSH also ends up getting a buff here, catches a buff with range and ADS strafe as well. So PPSH is even more lethal. You love to see that. I've been really enjoying the PPSH as of late, feeling fantastic. So nice to see that it's getting even better. The SOG also ended up getting a range buff. Can't get any better than it already is, so keeping that in the same ranking, but nice that that's becoming a little bit more versatile. But then things get a little bit interesting. For instance, our shotguns, the ASG, which I got to scroll down, had to scroll for this one. The ASG is all the way down here in viable. You could use it, but it's not going to be crazy. It did get a range buff, a headshot buff, a torso buff, and then an ADS speed buff, which is really solid here. I would say it's definitely more viable than it was before. Is it on par with maybe the Marines, some other shotguns? I think it's close. It is a little bit more spammable, but also shotguns in general still feel largely underwhelming. Speaking of the Marine though, this also got a buff to its range and its ADS speed. A little bit more unforgiving just because of the rate of fire there. If you miss one of the pumps, good chance you're probably going to be spectating or knocked, right? So a little bit unfortunate there, but its damage is still decent. But again, just with how shotguns are, nothing that crazy. Now our PML 556 here in the meta contender category, mainly because of its TTK, it's decently competitive there, although a little bit awkward to use in terms of its feel. Ended up getting a torso buff and a leg multiplier buff, so the TTK will be even more competitive. This ultimately is going to come down to, do you feel comfortable with it though? That's the big thing with that. If yes, then it probably could contend with some other meta options for long range. If not, maybe not the go-to. I love this one. Quite frankly, this should have been an absolute meta before, but the TR2 close range ended up getting a buff as well to its range and its ADS speed. So this is even more competitive, the CQB conversion with all of our SMGs, and it was already a fantastic choice. So love to see that getting even better there. One of my favorite close range options right now. Hey everyone, obviously pretty crazy time right now for games. There's so much to play with. You're diving into Battlefield 6, new season of Black Ops 6 and Warzone as well. If you're looking to stay hydrated, energized while you're doing any gaming, maybe any work or school, look no further than G Fuel. They've got the brand new Formula 2.0 in some select flavors, and it is absolutely phenomenal. Hype sauce has been my go-to as of late, but they got a bunch of selections there. They of course have their hydration flavors as well. But just a heads up, if you want to grab anything at all from the G Fuel site, be sure to toss in code Immortal at checkout for a discount. Link for that will be down in the description below. And then this one makes me sick. the the SVD ended up getting buffed. They buffed the range and the torso and the velocity and the ADS speed. And guess what? It was previously sitting inviable, and it's gonna stay inviable. And I'm not even being biased about this. It's just not a very good gun at the end of the day. It's way too awkward to use. It's really not that great. As I'm looking at this meta ranking though, obviously this update itself, I won't lie, a little bit underwhelming, kind of disappointing that they didn't change things more drastically for the final major meta update. We gotta drop, where's it at? I saw it in here, the absolute meta category. The Cypher, it's gotta go down into just basic meta. It's a meta contender, but it's not absolute meta. It's not on par with some of these other rifles and whatnot here. But here's the thing, with this meta, you notice it's basically all Black Ops 6. The Car and the Victus exist here because they are one-shot capable snipers. The Rao with the Jack Proteon kit is crazy, but in its absolute meta in terms of stats, but most people don't like the feel of it. So like you could even argue this is probably more of like a meta contender realistically here. But other than that, I mean, it's just Black Ops 6. There's no real point in having all of these MW2 and MW3 guns in the game when so few are actually competitive. Now, yes, you could use a lot of these, the M13, the M4, MCPR, SVA, Renetti, whatever else, like STG, I could go on and on. You could use several of these, the Striker, fast TTK in the mid-range, and you'll do okay with them. But if you want to be the most efficient tactic available, meta, it's Black Ops 6. And I feel like we kind of wasted this whole year. I think around season 3, they actually buffed several of these classic weapons, and it's like, oh, we've actually got a pretty diverse meta. And then they just went away from all of that, and it was only Black Ops 6 and very boring and very straightforward. And then they didn't really change things that drastically, where a lot of these have been stuck in absolute meta basically the whole year. The KSV, the Compact, the XM4 has been kind of up and down, but like pretty basic meta updates. And it worries me for Black Ops 7, where we have all these other guns. There's a lot of stuff here, and I'm really worried that they're just not going to get any attention whatsoever as we go through all of them, right? And if that's the case, why do we have 250 some guns or whatever by the time we have all the Black Ops 7 guns? But that's how the current meta plays out. You got a lot of really good options from Black Ops 6 for close range, sniper support, long range here. Be sure to let me know down in the comments below what you're really gunning for right now. What are your favorites to use in game, whether you're playing the zombie modes, whether you're playing Resurgence, normal battle royale, whatever the case is. But that said, gonna wrap things up for this one. If you guys enjoyed the video, you found it helpful, a like rating is always seriously appreciated. And if you're new to the channel, you want to stay up to date with everything going on in COD, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on those post notifications on your way out. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.